So, welcome to the National Baseball League. Right here is just, I made a mistake. There's only 8 games, but I made a full, I made a 15 board game, and then I was too into it, so I was like, yeah, I'm just going to continue. So I did, and I crossed out the entire bottom row. So, just 8 games. We're going to go through these pretty quickly. They look, if I were to do this again, I would have formatted it correctly. I made a mistake, but we're going to run with it. So we start at the top left, the Boston Whalers and the Tampa Bay Titans as we get right back to it. Whalers with a 4-1 win to cap off this 3-game set. A really big, it's just a strong win over Tampa Bay here. 4 runs, 8 hits, and an error. Some really good defense. Good infielding. They do make an error, but they make a catch. Some good pitching as well. And they're getting runs. They got enough to... They got that lead and they held on to it the whole way through. They win 4-1 over the Tampa Bay Titans, and they win the series 2-1. They win the final game of the 3-game set against the New York Sailors. Tried for the sweep, and it went miserably. They won the first 2, but this game they did. It's kind of like half the team took a break. Oh yeah, really bad defensively. Obviously, just some horrendous pitching. Around 13 hits for the San Diego Seals. They did a good job. Not only avoiding the sweep, they took advantage of a bit of a tired out New York Sailors ball club. They win 9-2 on 13 hits, no errors. Sailors just 2 runs scored, 6 hits registered, and 2 errors. I hope this is just a one-off. New York hopes it's a one-off. This is the Brooklyn team. They're the Sailors. The Manhattan team, they didn't play today. They didn't play yesterday. So then we end the final of a 4-game series between the Liberty and the Cincinnati Stingers. I did cover the 13-1 game with like 6 home runs in it. It was fun. Philadelphia wins this one 9-8, an absolute thriller. Here's the odd thing. Look at the hit totals. 20 hits for the Cincinnati Stingers, and they still lost the game. They still lost the game. That is the most hits I've seen for a team this year in this league. That's the most hits I've seen for a team in this year in this league that has not won a game. They have not won the game that those hits were recorded. 20 hits and they still lost. Wow. I don't even know how to describe it. It's called leaving runners on base at like most innings. Probably almost every inning they left runners on base. Because I don't know how you get that high. And you still lose. How do you get that many hits and still lose? Because they didn't match you. They didn't match. They had 10 hits and they won. I don't know what to think of that. The Cincinnati team is kind of they're finding humiliating ways to lose. First, the 13-1 game, and then this. Well, sorry, I got interrupted by my dad, so we're just gonna continue. So we move on from that crazy game. Then we had to Washington and Montreal. Final of the 3-game series. This is the one I covered. Pretty big home run in the 8th inning by Riley Green. Wins the ball game for. That inning won the game for the Washington Monuments. They beat the Expos 4-0. Just 2 hits allowed for Montreal. No runs scored, no hits, no errors either. And for the Monuments, 4 runs, 5 hits, all in the 8th inning. So yep, first the 2-run homer, then probably the next batter he struck out. The batter after him, he hits a solo blast, 3-zip, and then I believe in the 9th inning. Okay, yeah, it was 1 RBI in the 9th inning from custom player, a custom player. So Monuments win 3-zip, and they shut out the Expos. They had a really good series. Game 1 was a thriller, then back-to-back shutouts against the Expos. So the Expos, they only scored 5 runs in the whole series, and it was all in 1 game. We had the final of a 3-game set between the Memphis Blues and the Toronto Huskies. Really close game between the 2 ball clubs, but Memphis comes out on top and they won it 6-5. 14 hits for the Memphis Blues, no errors. The 1 error for Toronto. They lost them the game, presumably. Power 11 hits for the Huskies. And then they some defensive mistakes. Lose the Huskies this game and the series. Blues win it 2-1. They win this one 6-5. Possibly in extra innings. I don't know. Going into the final 4-game set between the Albuquerque Aliens and the Houston Cosmos. So the other 4-game set on here, which there's this one split right down the middle. Cosmos with a 7-3 victory over the Albuquerque Aliens. 14 hits and an error, and it was 7 runs scored. The Aliens, they had some runners on base, but similar problem to Cincy up here, just not as extreme. They couldn't get enough runners to actually score. You got them on base, and then they stay there. That is not good. You want it. It's not gonna mean if you do this. If you get all those hits, but you lose the game, none of it means anything. You need to score enough runs to win. I don't care that maybe they just had a bad night. That's because they're a great team. They are a great team. Series split 2 games apiece. Then we had the only series that's not ending. The Edmonton Eagles and the Seattle Sasquatch, a 7-4 win for Seattle. And yeah, they did a really good job offensively. 7 runs and 13 hits. They do have 2 errors, but it doesn't mean anything because they are able to survive 2 defensive mistakes, and it'd be the Edmonton Eagles 7-4. And so the Sasquatch lead the series 1-0. Going to the final game, Portland anchors the Detroit Motors in Portland for the final of the 3-game set in Portland. So the Anchors with a 5-3 win over Detroit. 5 runs, 10 hits, no errors. 3 runs, 6 hits, and an error for Detroit. The Motors they struggled defensively, and they didn't really match up offensively either. So that was the game. 5-3. No, that'll do it. I'm Thomas Rose. See you later. Goodbye.